We might be back, Erk. We might be back, bro.
Might be. Come
We
on,
back.
dog.
We might be. Hey,
Might be.
we got it, bro.
Might be. Come
Run
on, bro.
incoming. Trust. We
Come
going
on, man.
27-20.
I don't
Hey,
want to
yeah.
hear shit.
We
I don't
back,
want to
bro.
You
hear
guys
shit.
talk. You guys talk and you don't believe. That's your
Come on,
problem.
man.
Talk and you don't believe. That's the problem.
I don't
You
want to hear
talk and you
shit.
don't
Hey,
believe.
I
That's
ain't
the
say it was
problem.
over. Hey, I ain't say it was over. I believed in us. I wasn't one of them that was detracting from the squad.
Too fucking nervy, man. Too fucking nervy. They
This
needed
is on
some
a
reps
back to back,
together.
dog.
They needed some reps together.
This is
The
on a back to
data.
back, dog.
You know what was crazy, Urkel? In the first half of the season, when they were fucking terrible, everybody went to the data. Everybody went to the plus minus. When the Warriors started playing good, they're ignoring the data. When the data shows you offensively, they're one of the best teams. The data showing you defensively, they're one of the best teams.
Yes,
And
sir.
then they will still make these outlandish statements, first round exit and all kind of buffoonery. Nobody is beating these boys in a 7-game
Hey,
series.
Shadow. Shadow, let
Yeah,
me tell you a little bit of something about myself. I
yeah,
have, I went to college. I went to Arizona State. I majored in economics and statistics.
yeah,
I went on and I got my MBA. Okay.
yep,
So the job that I got was in like informatics, sales, data, and all of that stuff, right? So the early part of my career, I had to go out and I had to present data and I had to sell shit. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So the thing about my gig was that like you couldn't like people know numbers or whatever. Like people can sit there, they can tell you numbers, this, that, and the other, right? But you see the people that are really good at it are the people that can explain the numbers to you, but then they can give you context. You know
yep,
what I'm saying?
yep,
Like they throw out a number to you and they're telling you why the number is as such or why that number was produced, right? And they give you these contexts behind it, right?
of course.
And oftentimes on a TL, I see people use these numbers and they use it like a fucking sword, bro. And it's like they push an agenda with the number and they wave it like a sword. And they don't put context behind the number, right?
Yep,
And like a big part of numbers is that you have to put context behind it because a lot of these numbers that you see, the plus minus this, the this, blah blah blah, you have to put context behind it, and you have to tell a story with the numbers, but you have to tell the right story. You can't be telling the incorrect story. Okay. So so oftentimes in a regular season thing is like this is why they always tell you make sure that whenever you're talking about plus minus, you're talking about it with a large sample size, right? Because 3-point shooting luck can affect how these data thing swings. You know what I'm saying? And oftentimes I just watch people use plus minus in the most especially in on our timeline in the most malicious way possible, and tonight I was just watching the team and I was just observing how connected they were, and this team plays together. They're not a 4 out team. This Indiana team is one of the best offenses in the league ever, ever. But if you look at how they push the ball. It's a track meet. It's a track meet. Every night it's a track meet. You see, once you start to guard them and you get them in a half court situation, you see they don't know what to do.
Hey, Erk, just to add on to that, they got the number one offense in the league, and they're 3 points clear of number two. Like that's how good Indiana's offense is.
Bro, this is the number one offense. I don't want to hear shit about this, that, and the other. Halliburton, 5 points, 11 assists. What? Who's guarding him tonight?
The goat.
Bobby
so
Portis.
POA matters.
Wiggins Island.
Bobby Portis guarded
So
him tonight.
so
I'm curious. Who
POA
was guarding him
matters.
tonight?
I'm
So
saying
POA matters.
Who was guarding him tonight?
Wiggins Island.
Come
Yeah, he
on,
was.
man.
I'm saying
Okay.
the
All
goat.
right. Let me do something here.
Who was Wiggs guarding last night, by the way?
Maxi
Shit.
pad.
Oh,
Nice.
right. And how many points did Maxi have
Hey
last night?
man, Maple
Come
Jordan.
on,
Maxi on the
man.
Maple
year.
I
Jordan.
just heard all
Yeah.
buffoonery all year. All year,
Maxi on
man.
the
Just a bunch
year.
of
Maxi
buffoonery,
on the year.
man.
Hold on. Maxi on the year is 25 points, 25.6, 6 assists, 4 rebounds a game on 52% effective. Tyrese Halliburton. These are two of the premier offensive players in the league. Tyrese Halliburton on the year 25.6, no. This is here, let me look up Halliburton.
They starting to get trapped on Wiggins Island, man.
Halliburton is 22 and a half points, 11.7 assists, and he's doing it on 59% effective. So he's shooting like 39% from three, and he's shooting 59% from two. They push the pace, breakneck pace, bro. Like this is one of the crazy offenses in the league. I want people to understand that, right? So up and down all night long. You know what I'm saying? So the Warriors with Klay Thompson out, with all types of guys out tonight, you saw what they did. This is the number one offense in the league at home, and we were on a back to back, and we held them to 100 to under 110 points. Uh, quarters that they were
Incredible
held
win.
under 30, 24-18 in the third quarter, and they were held to 33 in the fourth quarter, right? So plus 11, plus 1, plus 7, plus 3 in differential quarter by quarter.
Urkel, is this the best win of the season?
This is it's the best win of the season considering it's on a back to back and it's on the road. Way
Against
to
the number one
go.
offense.
What about that Boston game, Urkel?
And it's also a great win considering that we were bitching today, bro. We were bitching about the
Speak
team
on
today,
it.
dog.
Speak on it.
It's probably
Come
the
on,
best win
man.
of the
I'm not
Hey,
season
letting
hey,
you
you're
because
guys
not
out
you're
of the
not
Speak
gate.
on
wrong
it.
though. You're not
it's
wrong
the
though.
best win of the season considering the fact that it's on a back to back and they are bitching. It's fucking 2 degrees in fucking Indiana
You
right
don't
now, bro.
you don't think that Boston game though wasn't the best of the season?
No,
No,
this
no,
was a
no, no,
back
no.
to back. And
This
hold
is on the
on.
road on a back to back
We have
against.
won 5 out of our last 6 games.
True. That's true.
Do you understand what I'm
And
saying?
Bobby
Yeah.
Portis over the last
Number
couple
one
Context
nights.
offense.
matters.
Bobby Portis
Draymond
held
Green
your
missing damn
favorite
near
guard. He held
Draymond
your
Green damn
favorite
near
guard.
missing half the season matters.
Come on,
You know what I'm
bro.
We
saying?
all owe Draymond and Andrew
Wiggins
Wiggins an
out of shape,
apology.
not conditioned, matters. You know what I'm saying?
Bobby Portis
Jonathan
held your
Kaminga in
favorite
November and
Eastern
December.
Conference All-Star to
Think about it.
33% combined shooting over the last couple nights.
Come on, man. And we're talking about POA and people's talking about Alex Caruso's better POA and Wiggins wasn't the bro. Wiggins was running around with fucking 27% of his lungs. He couldn't breathe out there. He was sweating in the first 5 minutes. The
Who do you
moral
think
of
Think
the
is
about
a better
story is,
POA, Alex Caruso or Andrew Wiggins?
come on, bro.
Andrew Wiggins.
Wiggins by far.
I
Oh,
don't
but
watch
didn't
the
Caruso
Bulls.
hold
So
up? Didn't Caruso make first team All NBA or some shit like that?
yeah,
Biggest
so
Curry
maybe
When
I
last
special.
just
You're a
year?
bozo, whoever you are.
Wiggs because he's more versatile on that end.
Nah,
Exactly.
Caruso, bro. He locked up Giannis.
Oh, Caruso.
He shut him
Who
down.
the
Wait.
fuck?
Bro,
So Steph Curry had 42 points, shot 11 threes, and was what only had what 1, 2 free throws?
Who was the guy you mentioned?
Steph.
Steph Curry. So you would say he's kind of a guy, right? But
What do
we're
you
out
mean?
over here worried about role player fucking Rodney, and we have the fucking best player in the league. I keep telling you guys, it's either you believe in Steph or you don't. There's no two ways. Don't say I believe in Steph, but no. If he's a guy, he's a guy, bro.
How do you
We
Superstars
guys
we
win
get we
feel
got to
after
get there.
championships,
We got to
bro.
get
Washington?
there. Gotta
I've
get to
come
the
up
playoffs
here
and then I
to,
believe.
Huh?
apologize on Steph's behalf. Like,
Bro, even when you
I
get to
like
the
him,
playoffs,
bro.
you're not gonna
So he
believe,
got
bro.
to get to the playoffs, and
Because
you'll
you gotta
No,
have
no,
believe.
no, no, no,
foresight.
no,
You gotta
no, no,
believe,
no.
bro.
I
What I'm
came up
saying,
here to
like I
Gotta
believe.
apologize.
believe in
I was
Steph.
low key bitching, bro. I was bitching earlier, bro. I was like, we didn't make no trades. We're not gonna make the playoffs with the
Low
way
key
how these boys
bitching,
was
bro.
playing.
Low
No,
key
no,
bitching?
I
Bro,
was
low key
bitching, bro.
bitching.
You was high.
Hold on. This man said low key bitching.
okay.
Bro, people wanted
You
to
were high
fucking
key.
string you up earlier,
You
bro.
were Mariah
They were
Carey
ready to ban
singing
you
an
from the
octave,
they were ready
Listen,
to
I
3
was
ban you from
going
octaves
through
playback.
it,
higher,
bro.
bitching.
I was going
hold on,
through
hold on,
it,
hold on,
man.
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Hold on. It's either you believe in Steph or you don't. There
Bro,
ain't
there's no
no
in
such thing
between,
as
man.
halfway crooks, bro. It's either you believe in Steph or you don't. There ain't no such thing as halfway crooks.
Yeah, no, I believe in Steph. My what I'm saying is the team has to get like if we get to the playoffs, he's carrying us through it. Is what I'm saying. So I believe in that regard.
Did
I'm not
Steph
saying
carry? Steph was amazing tonight,
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
but who carried us in the third quarter? Talk
Everybody else,
base. Who carried us in the third quarter?
everybody else, yeah,
Wasn't it the bench?
absolutely, yeah.
I was
Their
opposite of
defense
it
has
too.
been amazing.
Dario
Steph
No,
was
the
closed
bench,
The
that
we
amazing,
bench,
have
but
the
the
our
best
bench
bench
and the
in
defense
the
was
league.
defense.
better.
The defense too.
Our
We have the
defense
best
was
bench in the
insane.
league, though. We have the
The
best bench.
Pacers on average score 124 points a game, and we kept them under 110. That's
How
insane.
we do that? Putting Dario at the 5.
I don't know about that.
No,
Yeah,
Draymond
no,
was
no,
with
no,
Dario.
no,
That's
no,
hold
no,
why.
on, hold on, hold
Listen,
on.
you guys.
no,
It's
no. He
Draymond was
can't.
with
defensive.
He
You know what's
can't
Dario.
gonna
get away
happen?
with that. That
Hold
These
up, it
guys.
that
doesn't. Hold up,
These
hold
guys
up,
gonna
hold up,
be.
hold up, hold up, hold up. Dario was playing way better on defense because usually when he's at the 5, they have 3 guards out there, but he was protecting it. Whenever Dario was at the 5,
The
Brother.
end of
they
the
had 2
third
other
no, he
quarter
was
defenders
getting
when
there,
they
cooked.
so he
Hold on,
wasn't
Stop,
hold
he
on,
operating
was
at
stop.
he
full
was getting
hold
cooked.
on.
capacity.
Earlier on today, hold on 1 second, guys. Earlier on today, I asked Urkel something. I said, Urkel, after your heart is in your throat and you're shitting yourself, you're scared out of your mind that you're about to get traded. Your whole family's ringing off your phone saying, "Did you get any word? Are you getting traded?" I asked, "Do you think Dario Saric is gonna come in with energy and be grateful that he didn't get traded and step up his game and play better?" Urkel, what did you say?
I said I wouldn't be in the best state of mind. If I was under the bro, like, end of the day, these guys are human. And when you're playing under some anxiety, I don't think you're gonna play that well, So nah, bro, you'd be shitting your pants.
Yeah, but guess what? He's relaxed now because he's on the team. So he's relaxed and he's gonna play. The moral of the story is, bro, we could keep this up, this semantics till we're blue in the face. Because right now, we've won 5 out of 6. Then guess what? We're gonna probably go 8, win the next 8 out of 10. Then we're probably gonna probably have a little bit of maybe a back-to-back bad stretch, and then we're gonna continue win. The moral of the story is this team is not the same team as December. I don't care what anybody says. The team in December is not this team. The team in November is not this team. The team in October is not this team. They are a better team. I just want people to support the team and stop fucking panicking, bro.
I have a question for you. Do you think that this team has finally found like its identity?
Of course, I
I
told
don't
you
know
they have to
yet.
lean defense, and everybody got to play that shit. Not just Draymond, not just Wiggins, everybody, and that's what they're doing. Lester is out there. Guy Santos, bro. Do you hear these names? G. Lee Gary. I sat here at the beginning of the season in October and I said, bro, in training camp, Lester's been going ham. He deserves a shot this year. And Steve Kerr kept him on the back end, kept him on the back end, kept him in the G League, kept him in the G League, kept him in the G League. But he was putting in work. And he said, when your number's called, make sure you perform. And since that man's number's been called, he's been performing. These guys are hungry. They're playing
I
like
feel like he's getting
dogs.
better
G's
too as
playing
he
like a
plays.
dog. Lester's playing like a dog.
I think this is
When
the
Kaminga checks in, he's damn near got a collar on his neck going. He's a dog.
Yeah, clip that.
Stop this fucking nervy bullshit.
Did you have to make
If
the
I
dog
hear this
noises?
nervy bullshit no more, brother, I'm telling you, I know what I know, brother. I know what I know. These guys are telling me they believe they can win a chip. I believe they can win a chip. Period. These guys wouldn't be emphatically saying we figured it out. We got it together. We're comfortable. We know our rotations. We know our job. Nobody had a role earlier on in the season. Do you think Kaminga knew to attack the rim in November? Do you think he knew to attack the rim in December? You think Draymond Green matters on defense? It matters, dog. Come on, man. Let's do better, guys.
I have a question for AK and Dre. Before you guys go, how did you guys like this win? Like, how confident are you in this team now? I'm just curious. I just want to hear AK and Dre's opinion.
Trey, I'll let you tackle
AK,
it
you
first.
can go
Shut
first.
up, nigga.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. That we should clip that. No, I can go first.
No, you go first.
Bro, it's basically what I've been saying, bro. Like for like the last 2-3 weeks, I said the day of the Lakers lost, the night of the moment the buzzer sounded. I keep saying this, but I told you guys the J.K. Draymond Wiggs lineup was real. I know the Lakers loss was deflating, but I had optimism that we could carry that over, build an identity off of that, and it would trickle down throughout the roster. And we can have our pet peeves with players, and I know Loon has had a down year, and Sarge has been frustrating at times, and Moses has been injured, and so he's been inconsistent and whatever. But I think the key right now is it's really the word of the year. Actually, the word of the year is connectivity, and we do need a second option, and we got one now with Jonathan Kaminga. We've always needed a second option. But we instead of outsourcing that, we now found one internally with JK. So that was one box that was checked. Another box that's been checked is communicating on defense, closing out, rotating, and being committed to the details. We're not fouling as much, right? We're not fouling nearly as much as we once did. And part of that has to do with Draymond, right? Just Draymond's like really keeping things in check. He's not, and yeah, we overhelp at times, but I feel like the effort, we're not giving up on closeouts. We are fighting. Look at Guy Santos, bro. This guy comes in, diving for loose balls. He's closing out on shooters. He's jumping for offensive rebounds into a crowd. He's jumping into a crowd. Like these are pods. Guy, Lester. Lester's a dog, bro. He's not just some skilled soft player. He's not some skilled, like, oh, I'm just a scorer. Nah, the dude gets boards, bruh. Board man gets paid type shit. He fucking crashes. So we got a bunch of dudes on the team who are scrappy. We got a bunch of dudes on the team who are committed to winning. And that's really what's happening right now. They're committed to winning, right? Maybe in weeks past, maybe in months past, they weren't as committed. They're definitely committed now. And I think that's reflected in how connected they are, right? We can all agree that this has been a complete 180, right? Weeks and weeks and weeks ago, this team did not look anything near this in terms of connectedness. Now they look like one of the most connected teams in the NBA. And if you look at the stats, that matches the eye test, right? The numbers match from a defensive standpoint, from an offensive standpoint, from a net rating standpoint, from a lineup standpoint. Virtually every player is a positive at this point. And I feel like we're also doing a good job of compensating for each other's flaws, right? JK can compensate for maybe like the lack of shot creation that other guys may have. But Draymond and maybe some other guys can compensate for JK's off ball, slip ups here and there. But then Saric isn't an anchor. So Lester's diving. Guy is rotating. We're helping each other out. It's not just like every man playing for himself. We're actually playing as a unit and as a team. And I noticed the communication, man. The communication's on a different level. Like Steve Kerr said a few weeks ago, an assistant coach told him this is the quietest team he's ever been a part of. The quietest. I think Draymond's
Draymond.
presence. I know we're like when Draymond's out there. I know people are like, oh, like we don't want him to pick up a tech or whatever, but we want him to be loud, man. We want him to be vocal. We want him to be engaged. And this is the version of Draymond that we want, right? On the court, all business, basketball, and he's a fucking basketball junkie, bro. This guy learns, he breathes, he smokes, he eats basketball, bro. That's all he does. He understands tendencies. Did you see what he did to Siakam tonight? Like Siakam had the best game out of any
How many
Pacers
points
player.
did he have?
But Draymond 16 and 8, I think.
Draymond literally pushed
Yeah,
Gee into the correct position on defense. Like he
yeah,
physically
yeah,
put. You
bro. He
saw
was
that?
Defense
directing.
You saw that?
wins championships. This has been the
Yes.
motto. We've all been preaching it. Shadow's been preaching it. Defense wins championships, literally. But Drake, continue.
No, I mean that's kind of it. Like I just think with Draymond, he understands defense at a different level. Um, and it shows. It's not like he's like out there blocking shots necessarily. Which I still think we may need. Maybe that's an off-season thing we can address, right? Like kind of like a two-way big. But for now, for this season, I think Steve should really consider playing Trace a bit more. But
Agreed.
we do have a couple flaws still. I do think we
But
still have a couple flaws, but I think we can manage
yeah,
throughout the season
all
as long as our perimeter defense is in order, right? We get GP2 back. Wiggins is playing at a high level defensively. So as long as our perimeter defense is in order, I think there's a little bit more leniency with not having a rim
I
protector.
agree with that. And what's crazy is like we really could have gone on this road trip 5-0, but we know that overtime game we lost to the Hawks. But I don't know, man. This just all looks like really good signs of like you were saying, Dre, the connectivity and all of that stuff. And really, these next 4 games we got are really going to be the true test of like if we are like on the upswing and how we carry this momentum into that Jazz game, or not the Jazz game, excuse me, the Suns game first, then the Jazz game. We'll see what we got
Hey
cracking.
Dre, you know the only thing that we were missing in this game, bro? Like the old days,
Mm.
bro. The old days. The old days, Dre. You're OG, Dre. Remember when
What are we
Steph used
missing?
to sit in the fourth quarter, and I would
Oh, that's true.
and I
Yeah,
would throw out that
yeah. You
tweet.
did have to track.
I would throw out that
Yeah,
tweet, and I was like, "Oh, this is the 10th game Steph Curry sat." The old days,
right,
back to back,
right.
back to back blowouts.
And I'm also gonna say this too, right? I'm not gonna say do anything crazy. Say like, oh, we're better without Clay, or we're playing better
Don't do
without Clay.
it.
I'm not gonna say that. But what I am gonna say is
Grace
this:
to give her.
Dre, speak your
we do have
mind.
to figure out. No, because I don't even know. Like, we're still a positive with Clay. What I'm saying is, we need to figure out a way to. Because okay, the reality
You're-
is, if you look at the
yeah.
numbers, if you watch the games, Steph, Pods, Wiggins, Kaminga, Draymond is like a major positive. It's almost like incomprehensibly positive. If you look at the numbers, you like that's what people like to bring up charts. I brought up plus minus all this shit throughout the season so we can bring up charts. Like that shit is real. So I think with Clay, we just got to find a way to get that more up to par on both ends
You're-
when he's back. And but I do think there's a path to kind of integrate him so that things kind of flow a bit better, especially when we're in transition. I feel like the transition in terms of the way Pods pushes the ball, the way he rebounds. Like it's not
Dre,
just he pushes, he rebounds and pushes.
Dre,
It's kind of like what Russell Westbrook did.
Dre,
What Russ would do, he'd rebound and push.
Dre. Pods is the best draft pick since Draymond Green. He
I
might be.
agree.
He might be. Especially when you consider like the draft position and all of that, he might be the best draft pick. Shout out to Kaminga and all of this stuff, but bro, like
Did you see the stat about the turnovers? He's
bro,
the
his shit's
only
unbelievable. Like
only
like
player in
His
NBA
his
history.
IQ, his IQ is just absolutely nuts. I'm not gonna lie, and he's not even shooting the ball well. So when he's shooting the ball well, we're gonna be even scarier. Like it's crazy.
I said that during Summer League, right? I said during Summer League, I was like, the fact that Pods is not shooting well and that he's still impacting the game at a high level and he's still such a positive. I was like, bro, that shows me a lot of great indicators and signs that he'll translate to the NBA level. He will, and he has. Even the last like 2-3 weeks, bro, he can't shoot
how
at
many
all. Like
years did
he's
he play
missing
in college?
everything.
Like
2.
2, I think.
I'm
2 years.
not gonna
Okay.
lie.
Urkel. How many? I know Steph shot 2 free throws tonight, but how many free throws did he shoot last game?
Oh
Or
shit.
not
One,
last game. The game that he had 60.
Great buckets.
6.
four,
I think he
four,
shot. I think he shot
or
6 free
five. Was
throws.
it
6.
6? Okay.
Great
Crazy.
buckets.
Yeah, it
He in
was
the
six
foul
free
merchant,
throws, yeah.
yo.
This man is a terrorist, man.
Yeah, your favorite player needs 20 free throws to score 60. To piggyback off
Say
of
it again.
What Dre said, Dre, your initial point, your biggest takeaway is also my biggest takeaway, which is the kind of the this renaissance of this front court with Draymond, Wiggins, and Kuminga. We started out, we looked at it, and we said, hey, we might have found something here. And we didn't have, and you could still argue that we don't have enough of a sample size, but we had a relatively small sample size. And the only thing that's happened as that sample size has grown in terms of the defensive rating of that front court, it's only dropped. It was around a little bit over a 105. It was like a 105.8 when it started out, and now it's at a 102.7. It's dropped 3 points. As the sample size has grown, the defensive rating has improved. That lineup with Pods and Steph Curry in it is about a fraction of a point lower. It's like a 102.6. So they're basically running just as effective of a defense. Their defense is just as effective, and that's their best 5-man rotation defensively with Curry and Pods. Now, what Draymond when you look at what they've been able to do, number one, Kuminga isn't having to help as much on the weak side with Draymond out there, plain and simple. What do you do when you have a guy that struggles off ball? What do you do to help him? And if you have the ability to do so, you simplify it. And if he doesn't need to rotate as often and as frequently, simply from the low post and from the weak side, then he's going to be less susceptible to errors. The less you're in a position to make an error, the less you're going to make the error itself. Right? Plain and simple. That's the simplest way that you can break it down. Now, in addition to that, watch Draymond Green. Watch Draymond Green. Look what he's doing now. Look how often Draymond Green is hedging on a screen. Was he doing that? Remember the press conference a couple weeks ago where he was calling out everybody for not playing individual defense? Look at the confidence he has now in the guys behind him.
Yep,
Look at
I
his
see that.
confidence in his ability to make sure that he's got Wiggins covering if the guard is slipping down and there's a backdoor cut. Look how often he's hedging on that screen. He wasn't doing that shit before. Even if Steph is getting screened, look how often he's hedging on that screen.
How
So,
many
man, I'm telling you, we
passes?
might have found something here.
How many passes did Draymond telegraph tonight?
Not many from what I saw.
Draymond telegraphed bro. There's so many times I either seen him deflect a pass, or he knew where the ball was going, bro, and he just anticipated it, bro. He's probably like the best ever at that. You know what I'm saying?
Draymond Green,
Chemistry wise,
plain and simple, for me, is the greatest pick and roll defender of all time.
Oh, it's
And
not close, bro. It's
we
not
literally
close.
said
when
this.
you
We
can
literally
allow
said
him,
this.
when
Hey,
you can
by the way,
allow him to
Bucks
manipulate
getting
Holla,
clapped
through
right
high
now.
man.
ball screens from the offense, that's when you're in a position to succeed. When you make
Dog.
the offense second guess on how they're setting ball screens positionally on the court, who they're bringing up in ball screens, etc., that's when you can allow him to disrupt things. And but he can't do that. He can't do his magic and gamble and do the things that he does on ball screens if he doesn't have confidence on the perimeter. And he's
And
now
when he's
starting to
sitting
find it.
other people, and when he's karate chopping other people. But we all notice. Well, I hope we all notice because I was one of the few people. It was just a few group of people that were defending Draymond when he was on his tantrum. We cannot trade
Speak
Draymond
on
Green.
it.
He is the heart and soul of the Warriors. Like you guys were literally ready to trade the man who has assisted.
Bro, relax. The man missed half the fucking season, bro. Relax. He was suspended twice. What are we doing here? Stop it.
Frustration was never
Nah,
with
I
his
was saying that
ability.
he
It's with his
wasn't going to
availability.
help our defense though when he got back. A lot
Who
of
said he
people
wasn't going
Yeah,
to
said
help
yeah,
the
yeah.
defense?
Nobody said that. Like at
Who
the end
said
of
he
the
wasn't going to
day,
help the defense?
anybody that's
I came back and asked y'all multiple times about this, and y'all, he's not nobody. No one man is going to fix this defense. That's what y'all.
Y'all who? Who said that? The reason why we were so pissed off is because we know the whole shit
This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.
is built around him. We've been continually saying that, bro. What are we doing here? Don't lie, man. Stop it. The whole defense is built around what he does. Let's not do that. Stop it. Let's not do that because the whole defense is built around it.
Urkel, you know I'm not talking to you. You know I'm talking to the
I hope you
specific
guys
group of
believe, man.
people
I
who
hope you guys
wanted to
believe,
trade
man.
Draymond. I
What do you guys need?
believe.
Another 20 games to
Shadow, they
believe? I
don't
hope you guys
believe.
believe, man.
They don't
I hope you
believe. They're
guys
not
believe, man.
believers.
Bro, relax, man. Come on. Shadow, go ahead.
Urkel, is the audio cooked?
okay. I
No,
thought it
no,
was
no.
me. I thought it was me. I
No,
can't
I'm just
hear him.
waiting for somebody to talk. That's
That
all.
was crazy. I thought it broke.
I thought it did too because it happened the other night to me.
I have a question.
Go
So
ahead, Caprice.
we're going into our game with the Suns, right? Like personally, like I feel like this is like we need to get this because they owed them like 2 or 3 times, right? What
How do we
do we?
find old playbacks and spaces like the recordings?
Is it that deep?
Yes, because people make too many bold statements, and then when shit flips, it's we never said that.
What the fuck are you talking?
So
The man missed. He got suspended twice. He got suspended as long as John Morant got suspended. This is why our season went into the fucking shitter. What are you not understanding by that?
I get that, but that's not the point that people were making.
That is the fucking point that people were making.
That's not. No, it's not. And the proof is in the
All right, brother, you got it.
recordings.
Anyways, you go dig up the recordings and throw it on the TL. You're right.
At the end of the day, man, like let's keep it positive. Like we gotta. This is one of the most like convincing
That's all I'm
wins we've
saying.
gotten.
That's all I've been saying for months.
Gotten
Keep it
one of the most
positive.
convincing wins we've gotten. Let's believe in the team, like Shadow said, and let's try to like make that the energy moving forward. You know, rather than like act. It feels like almost sometimes when we lose, it's the same energy as when we win in the spaces and playbacks. You know what I'm saying? Like let's get away from that.
Yeah, my fault, guys. I apologize for that. Let's keep it positive.
Right. Jim Park, what's going on? Jim Park, how you doing, man?
Down, but happy about the win. Down, but happy about the win.
Why are you
Why
down,
are you
Jim?
down?
What you down about?
Down about the trade deadline and the things that they didn't do. The fact that Dario
Nigga,
Saric
you
is still like,
saw
and
that
I swear
shit,
to
but
God, if
Jim,
somebody
they
comes up and
won.
talking about, oh, but he played a good game today, like,
Yeah, no, I ain't let that
stop
one
it.
slide, man.
But Dario was a plus. Now I'm just playing.
Yeah, so I'm very just. I'm disappointed overall of what happened today, but tonight's game and what they've done in the road trip that's impressive, man. There are some new faces that have shown up, and they're showing the Warriors something that really unexpected. Lester Quinones, really unexpected. I wasn't sure that he was an NBA player, but shit, man, he's a two-way player, and by two-way player, I mean he plays on both ends of the floor, and I mean, I'm just thinking about it long term. It's unfortunate because as guys come back, GP2 comes back, CP3 comes back, he's not going to be able to play. So now the Warriors will have not just Moody, but also Quinones just kind of riding the bench because there's guys ahead of them and they're going to have to force themselves into smaller lineups again when CP comes back. And I really like the pairing of Potts and Lester. Defensively, that backcourt, that's nice, man. Lester got some serious POA-like ability, and he can shoot, he can create. He's a unique player. So, and then you got Guy Santos. Apologies to Guy Santos when he first entered the equation. My patience is just really thin, razor thin at this point after everything that's happened. So when I see Trace getting taken out of the rotation for no good reason, and then I see a G League player come in to the equation over him, naturally I'm just like, what the fuck, right? But he is he's I kind of want to he kind of reminds me of Moody. He's like almost like a bigger version of Moody. He's just solid, but he can play.
He's a really good connector, bro. He's a great
Yeah,
connector.
and he play power forward. He hit some really big threes tonight, and he hustles like crazy. Like he's literally sprinting. I'd like to see more of that from everybody else on the Warriors. I'm just talking about from a defensive standpoint. He hustles like crazy, and I would say maybe I've heard some comparisons to JTA. I think he's smoother and he can shoot better than JTA. So he is like a little unique in that way. And these guys never really having gotten NBA minutes to come up and play like this is pretty remarkable. And they've had a big hand.
Jim.
Yeah.
After Guy hit that second three in the third quarter, I yelled Guy fucking Santos in your voice. I yelled Guy fucking Santos in your voice.
he hit him at the fourth, bro.
I've played that clip the other night, like probably a million times now. It's probably one of the funniest clips of the year. And all I could remember from the clip was Guy fucking Santos. And then we were just watching this guy who basketball is just a funny sport, man. I mean, sometimes you just get contributions from guys that you just never thought that you would have gotten contributions from, and that's the cool thing. And you can tell like Lester and Yee are just playing their asses off, and that's really dope to see. They're definitely trying to, carve out a spot and all of this stuff. But Yee,
Yo, I'm gonna be
yeah.
honest. If we can get Otto on the buyout, I think we're good.
What about
Honestly.
Danilo Gallinari?
No, he can't guard.
Otto Porter?
I
Oh
agree.
yeah,
I
Auto.
agree.
That's
Jim,
it. That
Jim,
completes us.
Jim,
Yeah.
Jim,
New highlights? Oh my goodness.
Jim. How do you feel about Otto?
You know how I feel about Otto, man. I would have traded for him. So if they can get him for free, it goes without saying. Whether it's Thaddeus Young, Otto, the Warriors are obviously missing. They need to pick up a guy because I think there's 13 on the roster right now. Is that right? After dropping Kojo,
Yeah,
so
13.
they have to pick
Wait,
somebody up.
question for y'all. How does that so obviously it would be getting Otto on the buyout. Like how does that work? Anybody could go. Would Otto
12
be able to
million.
choose?
12 million or their salary has to be 12.6, I think, million before we try to sign them. So somebody
But
like
the
a
player
Brook,
can choose like what team they want to sign with.
that part I'm not like 100% about.
On a side note, I thought Steve Kerr's coaching was pretty good tonight. I'm gonna give it a B plus.
You know what's crazy, Caprice, is that I'm just looking at the timeline. I'm looking at the energy that I feel in here. I'm just kind of looking through. Why do I feel like people are not excited about what we just did on this road trip?
A good observation.
That's a really good observation. I don't
Am
know.
I crazy or not?
I think
Because
it's
they're
because
losers. Because they're
he was
losers, bro. If Steph had 2 points tonight and we won, I would be fucking celebrating. Dude, look, you can call me a Steph stan. I want to win, bro. Period. Point blank. Win. So for me, it's like they have agendas, bro. The people that are not happy have other agendas that didn't, they didn't get to. They didn't get to get those things off. Now, for me, I've already said, win, lose, or draw. It's about winning, right? I don't care if Steph drops 60 in a loss or 9 in a win. I'm celebrating the win every single fucking day of the week. So it's about winning. And I'm excited, man. This is the most happy I've been in terms of Warriors basketball in such a long time, because this is the closest we've looked to being a championship team. I'd even argue since the 6-2 start, because even the 6-2 start we look shaky. Now we look from quarters 1 through 4. This is the closest I'm optimistic. I've been saying it for 2 weeks. It's not even a today thing. So people should be excited that this team is trending upwards, and we're not even fully healthy yet.
I think
Think
I
about it. We're
like
gonna add the
Dre.
most.
I think personally though, I think the reason why no one's really excited is because like we really should be like on an 8-9 game winning streak right now. You know what I mean? Like
The variables
yeah,
weren't lined up at the time, though.
But who cares? Listen. I'll be honest with you. I was telling people, because I talk about this shit every day. I break it down. I break down the schedule. We do it all. I was telling people, we go 4-1 on this road trip, I'll feel good about this team. We went 4-1 on this road trip, so I feel good about the team. Like it's not rocket science, right? Now for me, I said 3-2 would be 3-2 to me would be like, okay. But guess what? We had multiple blowouts. There was we blew out Philly, blew them the fuck out. We blew out Indiana tonight. There wasn't even close, wire to wire. And then we basically blew out Brooklyn. I mean, that second half, we just dominated them, flat out. And then, am I missing another game?
no,
Or
that's
was
it.
that it?
That's it.
No, Memphis. We blew out Memphis.
And we
literally blew out every
should have
team.
won against the Hawks. We should have won against the Lakers. Though it's
that's
been looking really good for us.
Bro, no. You know what? No. You know what? We shouldn't have won against the Hawks. Wiggins got hurt. We were never.
Well, that's
we
what I
need
mean.
Wiggins. We need Wiggins, Draymond, and Kuminga out
We
there.
shouldn't have
So,
won against the
you're right.
Hawks, Trey. I mean, Steph dropped 60.
Nah, we should
No.
not
We
have
shouldn't
won
have
that
won.
game, bro. 'Cause I'm not gonna lie.
When you lose, I'll tell you why. When you lose a guy like Wiggins,
We should not have won that game.
it's over.
But
I swear to God,
that's exactly
Dre,
why
they should
He
have
was
won
our
that game.
only
What do you mean?
POA, bro.
that's
Jim.
But that's why I don't like
Who
that
would
we
have been
didn't make
out
a
there?
trade. Is because of that.
Jim, what POA
That's what
option
I'm
did we
saying.
have?
As soon as Wiggins left the game, bro, Trey Young got the cooking. cooking as soon as he left.
Jim,
If they
what
played a
POA
little bit
option would
bigger,
you
they
have?
win that game. Steph Curry's dropping 52 points in regulation.
That's what I'm saying,
They
Dre.
should have won that game. What do you
Bruh,
mean?
we
Okay,
ain't
He won
getting
the
if you
game
no.
want
for
to
them.
argue that, right?
Bigger?
Jim,
Oh
Jim,
my
Jim. I'm not
god.
going to argue. Jim. I'm not going to argue with you from whatever we could go. Here's what I will tell you though. Even the game that we lost, a lot of circumstances happened around that. Injuries, like bad, like crazy shot making, and even then we were still up by 4 with a minute left. So my point is this: even our one loss, I think I can safely attribute that to just awkward circumstances. Kaminga fouled out, Clay fouled out. Like it was just very circumstantial to me. I think this team is more representative of the 4 blowouts right now than that one loss.
I
I
agree.
don't
I
disagree.
agree.
I don't disagree. I'm
Yeah.
just curious how things work out when these two guys. You say, oh, they're not even fully healthy yet, but when they are fully healthy, guess what? The guys that got you this winning streak are not going to be in the rotation anymore,
I agree. That's true. That'll be a challenge. I agree
and
with
then they're
that.
just
I
going to
agree with
go
that
back to
100%.
doing exactly what
Yeah.
they were doing in the beginning of the regular season. And is Chris Paul going to still come back and close games?
There's
Steve
no
Kerr
way.
loved him.
I'm about to say, there's no way Steve is watching this and like, yeah, I'm gonna close with. It's no way.
We've
It's no
seen it.
way.
We've
I
seen it.
hear
So this is
you.
what
We've
I'm
I
concerned
literally
hear
about.
seen
you.
it
I
No,
hear
during
you.
the
no, you
stretch
guys.
that Draymond wasn't there.
The thing that I'm the most concerned about, like y'all alluding to right now, is how is he going to make it work? Like stopping him from closing with Clay and Chris Paul at the end of games is going to be like
Nah,
the
he didn't
toughest
close with
shit.
Clay, and
He's going back
he'll
to
go away from
So I
Clay.
have a question for all of you guys then.
Go
So
ahead,
who
go
should be the closing lineup?
Pod, Steph, Dre, Wiggins, Kaminga. Some nights if Clay good, you know what I'm saying, put him in there for pods.
Yeah, Paz is not playing over Chris Paul. That's not happening.
It's
At
not
this
happening. It's
point,
not happening.
Jim,
Trent's
at
not
this
gonna
point
trust
though,
him yet with that.
I don't know, because it's kind of like you
There's,
gotta
there's
play
no
pods.
no. It's Steve Kerr. Like we've seen this movie before. We saw it in IMAX, right?
CP should
When
be in that 15-20 minute range.
I agree.
we saw it with Trace, he's back. He's out of the rotation completely, despite giving us excellent minutes for all the times that he's like
Exactly.
been
I'm gonna be
part of
honest.
the regular rotation.
Great point.
Wait, I have a question. As far as Trace, have y'all noticed? Well, at least I know in a few games that I watched that when he gets in the game, like people are literally pointing like out where he needs to go and stuff, and he be late on rotations and stuff. So I kind of see why he's not playing right now. But maybe I'm tripping. Right?
No. Yeah, you're tripping.
No, here's the thing. You might be right that he's a rookie and whatever, but dude,
He's an
a
impact.
game changer, man.
I
He's
agree
our
with you, Dre.
best.
He is an impact player.
He's probably our best. He's probably our best athlete at the 5 that we
Got a
have on the
block in
entire
He's the best
30
rim
seconds
protector.
being out there. Like he was out there for 30 seconds and got a block.
But I'm gonna be
Paz and Trace
honest.
do not play
Go
like
ahead,
they
my fault.
rookies. No, I'm just saying like Paz and Trace don't play like they're rookies. Like just based on their decision making and their
Right.
play, everything.
And they're positionally
I
sound.
think Paz.
That's really the key. A lot of rookies are kind of like awkward and they're not like in the right place. They're not very like fundamentally sound. Positionally, Pods and Trace know where to be on both ends. They're very, very fundamentally sound. They're nothing. They don't do any like star level things in terms of like like shot creation, step back threes. Trace isn't out here hitting like hook shots and stuff. They're just doing the right stuff in their role, and that's why they're so effective and that's why they're so great. And I think their potential and their ceiling is actually really, really high as well. So
Because it's year
not only
one.
are they starting off, yeah, exactly, they're starting off their careers with such a high floor. But I even think as they add more to their game in the coming seasons, they're gonna get even better. Imagine if listen, it may sound crazy now, but I know Trace is struggling with his shot a bit at free throw line. But bro, don't let him get like a 12-footer.
He a lefty, bro. He a
Don't let him
lefty.
get
He
a
can do it. He
jumper,
can do it.
bro.
He a
It's
lefty.
over. It's over. It's over.
Nah, chill.
He gets a jumper, bro. He gets a jumper. He goes from like a $10 to $15 million a year guy to like 20, 25. That's like a $10 million. If Trace ends up like, these are the things that we got to think about, right? Because they're going to add to their games, and their contracts are a steal, bro. Like Pods is making 3 M's a year. Trace is making $1 million a year. How many centers in the league can do what Trace does at $1 million? They don't exist. How many players in the league, period,
You
not even
can't find them,
positionally,
man.
can do what Pods does at $3 million? Nobody,
Rookie
bro.
scale contract.
Not only are we getting,
Rookie
bro,
scale
think
contract.
about it. Like,
You're
exactly,
gonna
the
need
rookie
him.
scale
You're
contract.
gonna need him with the second
Yep.
apron, no matter what.
They were
Exactly.
licking their chops when they made them sign on that dotted line on on draft day for the 3 years. And that's, you've noticed we haven't done that with players like often, where it's like on draft night we're already signing them to a guaranteed deal for X amount of years. Like we don't do that often. So somebody saw something.
Don't forget what Mike Dunleavy said when he drafted them. He said he drafted guys who are ready to contribute right now, and he was right.
I'm gonna
So
be honest. Draymond pointed out week 1 and 2. Draymond pointed out like the first 2 weeks of the season, bro. He said we need them on the roster, and he was not
He
wrong.
did say that. He did say
you,
that.
you
He
see why
did
I
say
was
that.
very
That's
annoyed
true.
when they were sent to the G League earlier in the season. I
Now
didn't
that
think
shit
that they
was dumb,
belonged
Jim. I agree.
there.
I
But
agree with you on
Hey,
that. Cause
Kirk cut that shit
and
out quick though.
I'll say this. You know, I guess High Tech said it. I didn't hear it when Shadow said it earlier in the spaces. I came in a little later, but talking about like believe in the team. I believe in the players that are on the team. I believe they have winning pieces on the roster when a lot of people did not believe that. And when people say like, "Oh, there's no move to make that's going to fix this team," like, what are you talking about? What have they done in this road trip? They clearly have the capacity to win. They clearly have winning pieces. All right. So I've always believed in this team, and I've always believed in the roster that they have. I just don't think that they've been used correctly. The rotations have been a shit show for a chunk of the season, and they took one toy away from, Steve Kojo, but Kojo was already out of the rotation anyway. Lester already took his spot, so that was a bit of that was a pretty irrelevant move, other than saving money or whatever it is that they're doing. I don't know, but
Jim, let me
I
go
believe
at
in
you.
this team.
Never mind.
I don't believe in Steve Kerr. That's my issue. The
Okay.
things that he does, he's still putting Sarge at the 5. I just don't get it.
I'm in that
I think they
camp.
would
I'm
be
in
a
that
million
camp.
times better if Trace is in there instead of Dario.
I can't say I
That's
don't
just how I
believe in
feel about
Kerr,
it.
but his decision
Yeah, I
making is
can't.
very.
Cause
So Jim, here's where I
what's
stand with the Sarge thing. Sarge is a much better player than Trace is, and then Trace is a much better defensive player. It's an offense defense type of situation.
Right, and he's
I
choosing
agree.
offense when they don't. The offense is not their concern. Their concern is fixing their defense, and they're on their way there. Just because Guy Santos is in there now, like Lester's in there now, and they're not going to tiny lineups. When those guys are on the floor, they're not tiny, and the tiny lineups have been killing the Warriors. Right?
Here's the good news, Jim. Jim, this is where you should be a little positive, though. I agree with you, and I think Trey should play over Sarge as well. And I think leaning offense is never smart, especially when you're trying to build a championship team. You should lean two ways, but if you have to, lean defense. But I will say this. I will assume that those Sarge minutes look a lot better when CP is back. Right? So it'll be a little bit of a different rotation, of course. It won't be like kind of like Lester might get less minutes and Pods might even get less. But I will say Chris Paul has the highest plus minus on our team this season, and that's not by no accident. And he also helped Sarge a lot in from a chemistry standpoint. They have a lot of great connective sets that they run, the pick and pop actions, the mismatch hunting, all that stuff. So I will say that my optimism does remain in that Chris Paul returning can help boost those Sarge minutes a little bit more. But I agree. Fundamentally, we should lean defense. I just think it's a mistake to. I know that the reason they're playing Sarge has nothing to do with offense and has everything to do with that he signed for the minimum and they promised him minutes. I think that's what it is. Because if Steve understands that. He watches the games, bro. He knows that Sarge at the 5, you're giving up a lot defensively. Yes, he can score, and I'm not going to downplay the spacing. I'm not going to downplay the offense. But to me, Trace is clearly like the more impactful two-way player.
I
So
wanna
that's how
I
I
I
feel.
wanna
think
go at,
spacing at this point is vastly overrated. With the
Yeah.
Warriors, the way they talk about the spacing, who are the primary spacers on this team?
Clay,
Dario Saric and Klay
Steph,
Thompson.
Lush, maybe
Outside of Steph, I
Sarge.
mean, outside of
Sarge
Steph,
is
who are the
best.
spacers? There's only two, right?
No, Sarge
It's
can
Klay and
space it
Dario,
out.
right?
Dario.
Who are like primary 3-point threats? Yeah,
So
playing Dario.
Jim, let me ask you a question. Why do you think the spacing is overrated, as you would say?
Because, well, first of all, Klay wasn't in this game, and they scored 131 points. They had no trouble scoring. Steph got going. Steph, it's this. You're prioritizing spacing over defense, and it's a huge problem. The Warriors
Yeah,
have
but
more than enough scorers. They're gonna score. Just because
do
they
you
don't
know
they don't have a 3-point shooter, it doesn't mean that there's no space whatsoever to work. There are plenty of
do
guys
you
that
know
can shoot the
why
mid range. There are plenty of guys that can work out of the post. There are plenty of guys that can attack the basket. There are other
do
ways
you
to
know why
score
the
than just 3-point
spacing
shooting.
do you know why the spacing matters least on this team? I'm not gonna say it doesn't matter, but you know why it matters least? Because they are a movement team. So for instance, like when Steph is gonna set like a back screen for Kaminga and he's gonna spring for a layup, that's not necessarily spacing. That's the threat of Steph's off ball stuff. Same thing with Klay Thompson. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it matters less. Now the thing with Saric is that you can give him the ball and they put him on a smaller player, they send a double, he can actually make that pass, right? So, I get that he's cooked on defense. I will fully agree with that, but I don't want to turn this into a thing where we're just going to ignore completely what he does on offense because, this is the belly thing all over again.
bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
No,
It's
well,
Jordan
I
Poole
will
to
say
me.
this.
The last year Jordan Poole.
I can't. I think Belly was a better defender than Sarge. That's just my opinion.
I don't
But
think they're,
it's a
bro,
little
I
bit.
think they're right around in the same ballpark, man. Like,
No, so rim protection wise, it's literally the same. I agree.
yeah,
It's literally equal. But on the perimeter, Belly to me, he clears, bro.
yeah.
He was guarding Luca. He was guarding Tatum, and the dude was holding up. Like
Yeah,
Belly,
but
to me on
Andre,
the
And
perimeter,
to give it
Dario
a
was a
is just
better
but
clear.
shooter,
but
so
but
it's
but but
it's a
so
Sure,
wash.
no. I agree. But here's the thing, though. That's why you could get away with Belly and Dre together, is because Belly could space and he could defend a bit on switches, and Dre he was good enough.
nah,
Like
but
I
but
remember Jason
Andre,
Kidd.
if we be not I
Yeah.
ain't gonna hold you, but if we be honest though, Belly was in a better situation because dudes wasn't missing games early on. You get what I mean? So the Golden State Warriors was rolling initially, like 18-2. Dario, as you just said, pretty much the Warriors got this dude because of Chris Paul. It's like a 2-for-1 deal. They kind of have a synergy together, right? And the Warriors have been missing their defensive anchor half of the season. So of course he's gonna look bad. You know what I mean?
By the way, the people that think they're smart or whatever, they're slick on the TL, bro. Like, I know what you're doing. I know like the undertones and the underlying like intent behind your tweets, bro. Like, cut the bullshit, bro. Like,
What happened, Dre?
you're
Hold
writing
up. What
tweet.
happened? What happened? What did I miss?
Nah, look at the chat. Look at the chat. The space. I don't know. What do I even call it?
The
Like
main chat?
the private chat.
Okay.
Yeah, the main chat. The main chat. Look at the main chat, bro. Okay. If you have if you can think a little bit advanced, you understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, yeah.
When I say what I said. You see what that is?
Uh-huh.
That shit. It's like they think they're slick, bro. They're not slick. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You know
Yeah.
what's funny? You know what's ironic
Yeah, I
about
see what you're saying.
Bruce talking about Chris Paul and how Sarge came together because of Chris Paul and they're like a package deal or something like this. These are the two pieces that I wanted off the Warriors the most, both of them, and they're still here, and I'm very annoyed with that.
No,
Let
but
me.
But
Jim Park, hold up, Caprice, before you get that point. But
I got
Jim Park, you're intelligent though, Jim Park. So just from a numbers standpoint, when you're running a 130 offense, I mean, how many teams is looking to move off from that? Like, when has the Warriors bench truly been a positive for, a long duration? So just from that standpoint, that's how the Warriors were looking at it. If anything, they stopped closing with this dude before it was too late. Like a couple games, they lost a couple games, it wasn't closing with this dude, and that makes sense. But I just don't see them moving on from him in that regard. And I think to the bigger point, I think it's the politics behind everything. They were definitely going to play the vets over dudes who barely, made it to the league, right? And send them to the G League now. But guess what? Now you have another conundrum, right? Because you would rather see TJD play. Now you got Kaminga playing remarkable, and he's in the starting lineup, right? Pods wouldn't be getting this much minutes if GP doesn't get hurt, if Moody doesn't get hurt, and Chris Paul doesn't get hurt. So now these guys are playing good. So there's another conundrum where who do you continue to move forward with when we know who's playing good right now, right? So how do you shake up the roster a couple games from now when dudes who are not day to day anymore are playing?
So I looked at some numbers. It's not the greatest sample, but Draymond and Dario on the court together this season, 87 minutes is a minus .4. They have a 129 defensive rating in that two-man
do you know
lineup.
how hard it is for
Belly.
that to be the case? Holy shit, man!
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then Belly and Draymond played only 160 minutes together. So that's only what, like a three and a half game sample. And they had a 98 defensive rating together,
Yeah, Dre,
and
but
they
it
were
was
a
a
plus.
different league back then, bro. Like it was a different league.
Maybe, but that's a bit like dude. That's 30 points, bro.
Bro, I
30.
don't think we've seen them enough together to make an evaluation because
Okay,
Fine.
that might be fair. So we'll
yeah,
see.
their
By the way,
season has been
We can
fractured,
see.
bro.
I'll say this. Maybe the sample needs to increase,
Yeah,
but that is a 30 defensive rating points is
bro.
crazy.
I'm just
Like it's not like it's
thinking.
10.
One, it was a different league back then. uh, because the way that they were calling the league that first half of the year, it was playoff conditions, and then so I'm just thinking about all of these little factors, and I don't think it's necessarily a fair sample. So I need
Yeah.
to see
That's
more.
okay.
Yeah, I need to see more. Bro, I am not saying he's not bad. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to
Urkel,
kill a
check this
guy
out.
that's making $2.5
Urkel,
million.
Urkel, check this out.
Yeah,
Draymond, and Trace, they played I think about 40 possessions together. They
yeah,
have a net rating of plus 19. So do with
yeah.
that
I
what
feel
you
that.
will.
Bro,
Let me
yeah,
ask a
lean
Also,
into that, man.
question.
Lean
I
into
will
that.
just say this
The
about the
data
spacing,
screams.
and then Caprice, I think, has been
Yeah.
trying to say something, so she should go. But in turn, you talk about the
Hey
spacing, right?
Caprice, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's transition to playback and do hour two over there as well. Hour one just ended. So playback.tv/space gang, and we can pick up that exact point over on playback. So see y'all over there. Give the host account a follow and just come to playback and we'll continue that convo and we can watch some press conference stuff. See y'all at playback. Thank you.
This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.